years in prison, you're not going to snitch to where you'll get probation. You absolutely will. So if you think there's this code of ethics, there isn't. Believe me, I've been to prison twice, my friend. There is none. You can sit there and shake your head. You haven't walked through what I've walked through. You want to know why? How old are you? Yeah, you. 15, you don't know anything. No offense, but you don't know much of nothing. Because when I was 15, I thought I knew everything. When I was 17 and 18, I knew everything. When I was 20, I didn't know a damn thing. In my 30s, I started to learn, but at 40 is when I really started putting two and two together. And you don't have to do that. But on the flip side, let's take a little deeper. So I got out of treatment. I stayed sober about a year, went back to doing drugs, tried to relocate down to Texas. I'll get away from all my problems, went right back to doing what I did, burned my best friend. See, there's a saying out there, wherever you go, there you are. So you might leave here, you might go home, you might go here, but all your problems and situations go with you. Wherever you go, there you are. I went to New York, started my own cable marketing company at 23 years old. How much money do you think I made a week legally? How much? About $25,000 a week. I was a multi-millionaire at 23 years old, and I'm the kid with the 1.4 grade average that barely got out of high school. I had one of the largest cable marketing companies in the United States of America, marketing cable television door to door, and I buried the business within 2 years. Why? Why? Because I went right back to doing drugs. See, drug dealers liked me because I'd give my drug dealer $20,000 cash every month. $20,000. And say, bring me an ounce of cocaine to my house every day. Because I thought I was a bigwig, big shot. And I buried that business and I destroyed 60 people's lives that work for me. But in addiction, everything's about me. You're the most self-centered person in the world. I came back to Chicago, tried to go back to those 12-step meetings. I went to work for a gentleman doing what's called being a headhunter. And I placed people in the technology space. My first month, I made $10,000. 5 months later, I made 50 grand. And what'd I do? Went right back drinking and doing drugs, because that's what addicts do. I ended up leaving there. I went to work for a management consulting firm. Who wants to be a computer programmer, engineer? Put your hands up. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a great living. Ton of money to be made. And you get to develop cool things like those iPhones and Androids. Great business to be in, especially if you're an alcoholic and drug addict. At 26 years old, I was a partner in a management consulting firm. Had a brand new Jeep, pearl white, brand new custom Harley, brand new ski boat, and I was making $250,000 a year. Third highest paid guy in a $50 million a year firm. If my boss was in at 6:30 in the morning, I was in at 6. If he left at 7 at night, I left at 7:30. There was a Bennigan's restaurant down in the base of our office, and that's where I interviewed everyone. I'd interview you at noon, you at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? Hello? So I could drink all day, damn straight. All day long. And then my cocaine dealer would bring me cocaine at about 3, and I'd do cocaine all night. And at about 3 in the morning, I'd be sitting in my beautiful townhouse with all my things parked in my driveway, the loneliest person in the world. And that's where I met my future wife. I walked into work one day, and there was a beautiful lady sitting at the front desk, and she had a peach outfit on. And I walked in with my smart aleck mouth. I said, "Hey, Peachy, how are you?" She goes, "Good." I said, "Who are you?" I said, "Well, I'm Shannon Hoban, the new receptionist. Who are you?" I said, "I'm Tim Ryan, the director of recruiting." She goes, "Oh, you're the jerk that didn't want to hire me." I go, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Didn't Bill Hennessy give you my resume 2 months ago? Weren't you looking to hire an assistant?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "You're the banker lady." She said, "Yep." I said, "I don't like bankers. I never decided to give you a call." So I felt bad, and I said, "I'll take you out for a drink, because that's what I do." So about 2 weeks later, I took Shannon out for a drink at Bennigan's. She had about 2 drinks, and she went to the bathroom. And I walked by the bathroom. When she came out, I gave her a kiss. I said, "You are my new girlfriend." And she said, "I'd like that, but I have one question to ask you. Do you do drugs?" "God, no, I don't do drugs. Why would you ask me a silly question like that?" She said, "Well, I've got a 3-year-old son by the name of Nicholas, whose dad abandoned him. He's a drug addict, and I want nothing to do with the drug addict." "Man, I don't do drugs." I said, "Good, I'd like to go on a date with you." Shannon went back to Naperville. I went to Chicago and bought a quarter-ounce cocaine. Because in addiction, your entire life is a lie. About 5 months later, the pill didn't work. Shannon was pregnant. We did the courthouse wedding. I adopted Nick. We had Max. 9 months later, she's pregnant with Tanner. 9 months after Tanner, she's pregnant with Abby. Good Irish Catholic here. So one thing I was good at was making babies. And then Mackenzie came along about a year ago. We'll get to that. And then I got a vasectomy. So, God's got a funny sense of humor, let me tell you. What made me quit doing cocaine is, about a year in, Shannon realizes she's living with a full-blown alcoholic and drug addict. But my thinking was, I make the money, I pay the bills, I provide, you breed, you take care of the kids, and that's how it operates. Because, of course, I was a self-centered person. I had woke up after doing cocaine for a couple days, and my Max was 14 months old, and he was crawling into my home office. And I picked him up, and I put him in his room, and I opened up my office door. What was all over the floor? Cocaine. If my son would have ate one of those rocks, it would have killed him. So I immediately started going back to those 12-step meetings, started another consulting firm. I always had work ethic. I always worked hard. Started another firm, making a ton of money, going to meetings every day, but they always say, get a sponsor, work the steps. And I don't need to do that. I'll just go to meetings. They'll keep me sober. I'll just hang around people, and through osmosis, I'll grasp this gift called recovery. Doesn't work that way. And about a year in, we built a 5-bedroom, beautiful house, 3-car garage, making a ton of money, and I met Joel. I met Joel at one of those 12-step meetings. We became buddies, had some things in common, and about 3 weeks later, he asked me to take him to Chicago to move out of his apartment. So I took Joel down to Chicago. We're moving him out, and out of the bedroom, his roommate Sapa pops. "Hey man, what are you guys doing?" "I don't know, I'm moving out your roommate. What are you doing?" "Heroin, you want to try some?" "Yeah, sure." That was it. I'm a year clean and sober, but I didn't have the tools to live in the life of recovery, and I thought, what is one bag of heroin going to do? It's just one bag. That was it. One bag of heroin took me down 12 years to utter hell and destruction. You thought drinking and the cocaine and all the other stuff I did were issues. This is a whole different dinosaur. The way I want to explain drug addiction in general. 90% of the people that smoke weed will not become a drug addict. 90%. It doesn't give you a hall pass to smoke weed. The weed today is 100 times stronger than the weed I grew up smoking. Who knows what dabs are? Don't lie, put your hands up. That's it? Put them up so I can see them. Who smoked dabs? How do you know about them if you haven't smoked them? Smart kid. Good answer. I'm picking on you. So here's the thing. I'm at a party. We just kicked the crap out of Pickneyville in football, right? We just kicked the crap out of Pickneyville in football, right? Good. We're at someone's party. We're smoking some weed, having a few drinks. And I walk up and say, snort this. Try this pill. All right, because your inhibitions are dropped. That's when the trouble happens. That's when the trouble happens. So let me explain. If I lock those doors right now for a week straight, and I'm going to put a pound of Kush, kind, whatever you want to call it, loud. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm going to put all the booze you want up here and all the food. And for a week straight, everyone in here is going to smoke weed, drink booze, and eat like kings. At the end of the week, this whole front row will have a drug addiction issue. That's about it. Now, let's flip the script. I lock those doors, and when I talk about opiates, Vicodin, Percocet, Percodan, Oxycontin, Oxycodone, Loratab, morphine, Demerol, Dilaudid, methadone, heroin, fentanyl. Probably some things I forgot. Those are all opiates. If I lock the door for a week straight and everyone in this auditorium does opiates, every single person in here will be an opiate addict. Every one of you. Are you grasping what I'm saying here? That's how quick it takes. And your life will turn into living to use and using to live. That fast. That one bag of heroin, one bag, turned into a $500 a day habit for 12 years. I spent over $1.5 million of my hard-earned money on heroin. It robbed my soul. It robbed from my wife and kids, my mom and dad, and everyone near and dear to me because I destroyed everything in my life. I've overdosed 8 times. I've been clinically dead 3, and I've had 2 heart attacks. I shouldn't be standing here. See, what happened is I started getting things called consequences. Caught my second DUI, lost my license for 3 years. A week before I was to get it back, I drove once. I got pulled over by the chief of police off duty in his friggin' pickup truck for not using a turn signal. Would you do something like that to someone? And I got my first driving on revoke. So you automatically lose your license for 2 more years. So I got a case of the F-its. Well, I'm going to keep driving. 2 weeks later, I get pulled over in Chicago by Officer White. And I say, I'm a smart drug addict. I'd wear a suit. I'd carry AA literature with me. Sir, I'm going on a 12-step call. I work for Alcoholics Anonymous. That's why I'm in the hood. Yeah, sure, up against the car. Spread them. Grab me. Checking to see if I have any drugs. And he wrote me a ticket. And he said, Tim, you better quit driving. They're going to